Hello and welcome to the show. This week's FailRace episode, we start on Forza 7 with Roscoe racing at Watkins Glen. Up ahead, a couple of minis get connected, travel across the grass as they rejoin. Unfortunately for the Civic, tries to avoid. There's not quite enough space and, well, the squeeze ends up in a Civic front flip. Now, I've seen cars squished against that wall go for rolls or right up the wall. Front flip, rather an unusual outcome. Nuts also on Forza 7 with a little bit of an unfortunate race start, shall we say. The game not being very kind. Not only is he spawned miles off the back of the grid, I think it's like an engine and gearbox change penalty for the Ferrari, because that's a long way back. Simpsons fan on Horizon 3 has found what I like to call the FailRace planter. Apparently, if you try and drive across it, you get rolled into a tree for no real reason. And the worst bit is the car gets stuck on its side, it then gets reset in a position where you can't actually get out. I don't think you realise you can reverse first of all, but then having backed into it, tries to get the car going, and it's very wedged, and that's forward, and that's not really helping. Frozen Graph on Horizon 3 gets a little bit of a nudge before an amazing double kind of roll. I mean, that's a very movie-esque takedown right there for the Viper. Doesn't quite stick the landing, ends up going face first into a rock. It's got a squeaky cat going on in the background, don't worry about that. But yeah, the ping off of the wall is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic, that takedown of the other Viper. And it's a lovely, lovely landing as well. It's a shame it couldn't quite avoid the rock, but still, I've seen a lot of stuff on Horizon 3. That I have not seen. I've not seen a rolling car take out another car by rolling it as well. Mustang Bugatti on GTA 5 is heading towards Los Santos. Gets a little bit too much speed over a crest, bounces off a car, goes for a couple of flips, followed by a couple of rolls, and somehow, despite falling off the road in one of the worst places possible, manages to recover with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Hailed Jada on GTA 5 is busy sorting out menus, doesn't realise he's driven past his car that he wants to go and get, so has to do, a quick turnaround before heading back to his vehicle. However, the bailout of his car doesn't quite go to plan. Well, I say it doesn't quite go to plan. It goes a lot better than I guess you could have expected. I mean, you've literally jumped out in front of another moving car, you've pinged up to space, and you've landed perfectly okay. Well done. Well done indeed. MD Gamer 2000 is trying to find his rather stuck friend who has got a car wedged down one of these stairways. The problem is he tries to go and help, things do not go according to plan. Now we're just playing a game of stacking cars into the stairwell. They're not getting out of there anytime soon. Invisible AK on GT5. Now this was during one of the streams, this was during a weird flying tugboat match. First of all, manages to crash a plane into the front of my truck. Doesn't end too well for the plane. Gets reset. Look out for the tugboat that's going to come flying down. Rolls the plane and you don't have time to recover that one, and the plane's into the water. Well done indeed. I am Larson on Assetto Corsa. So the green car we're following here is an AI car. I believe the player car is the white and red one that is alongside. So they're busy racing around a relatively narrow, I would imagine, tricky circuit. The player car runs a little bit wide. The AI vehicle, not wanting to lift, goes for a bit of a push, still pushing the Alpha ahead of it, and somehow nobody gets spun around. Not quite sure. That was a lot of sideways angle for the Alpha not to have gone round in a circle. It's quite an impressive feat right there. We're up next onto the Halo Master Chief Collection with a tank taking some pot shots. I think it was taking some pot shots at some friendly units, but you've all done that at some point, let's be honest. So either way, the tank is now spotted some ghosts, is going to shoot at those, falls off of a hill, maybe a little bit wonky off of the hill right there. That's a lot of rolls. That's definitely a FailRace approved tank. Not only had the FailRace planter, we've had the FailRace tank as well. Probably not a good thing though to use in a war. Blaze Shade up next on a PUBG is busy messing around with their little squad, the guy on the bike kind of weaving about and so on. What they don't realise is bike beats buggy, as the bike gives a slight nudge to the back of the buggy. I'm not entirely sure how all of that works. Buggy spirals out of control before suddenly exploding. Yeah, I think we've seen it before. Bikes and buggies are not a good combination. Welsh Toast on BeamNG Drive is messing around with some AIs. AI in a monster truck, AI in a Formula 1 car. Not going particularly well. I mean, this is to be expected. What wasn't to be expected was the sudden explosion of everything. I mean, like, literally everything is broken on every single car. Not quite sure what went on there, but it was very angry. Nexon, also on Beam, is trying to chase down an SPR4. Pretty damn fast car to be doing this with. Aroma gets a pit maneuver. It's a fantastic FailRace Police Department approved takedown, and the SPR4 doesn't care. Actually managing to land perfectly on its wheels to carry on and actually make up more ground from that. As the Roma went for a bit of a spin, the SPR4 managing to make up ground. Well done. And finally, the on Project Cars 2, racing in some Group C cars. The AIs get a wiggle early up, sort of towards the front of the field, and everything goes tremendously badly wrong. One of them gets launched into space. There's a lot of broken cars. It's sort of this metal wave that was going on through the middle of that pack as cars got thrown up in the air, and sort of constantly thrown up in the air. It's a fantastically spectacular crash. It really is. I don't know who starts it, quite why it starts. I think it's like it's wheel spin while it's on the banking, and then it just goes and goes and goes. One of the cars, I'm not actually sure what car it was there. I think it was a Nissan that got launched really quite high up. That's a hell. I've seen all sorts of various silly, spectacular crashes from Project Cars. They are getting a little bit freaked out. That might be one of the most spectacular, though, on an opening, well, for start line, on an opening lap. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. Find the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. However, that is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.